Hi, so in this video, I've got a lesson and it's about squaring numbers, and we're doing this in Python. So the goal for the students is that they want to write code that takes a number as an input and prints the result of squaring it. So, number times number. And in the, instructions, I give them a little code snippet that shows how you multiply two numbers in Python. And then here's my starter code. So this is actually going to be a pretty easy assignment for students. We're going to give them code that doesn't quite work. They really just need to take this plus sign and change it to a times. But this would be, a fine assignment, I guess. I mean, it would take about 30 seconds. But what we want to show here is how to add input-output tests so that you can have students automatically get feedback on their work. So in order to do that, we're going to open the File menu here, and we're going to click Add, and we're going to click IO tests. Okay, and once you see that now students will get two tabs. They'll get output and they'll get tests. So in our menu here for the IO tests, we can write a name for each test. So I can say 2 squared. Okay, so for 2 squared, the input we could say 2, and the expected output we could say is 4. And let's see what happens. So we can actually run our tests against our starter code and see what happens. And look, so actually the test passed here because 2 times 2 is the same as 2 plus 2. But what might get students to test their code more thoroughly is if you add another test, and this will be 3 squared. Okay. And so we can say that the input for this test is 3 and the expected output is 9. And now we can test our starter code against the tests and see that the starter code with an input of 3, the starter code outputs a 6 and the correct output is a 9. So we can now go to the student view and see what this lesson will look like exactly for students. So the students look at their starter code. The students can just run the code regular. So they can run this and they can see that their code, when you input 5, outputs 10. And then they can go and run their tests and they can see that the tests pass for 2 squared, which is kind of interesting, but it doesn't pass for 3 squared. So once they change this to a times, the students will see that both test cases pass. So this is how you create a lesson with IO tests in Pickcode, and a little bit more of an advanced feature, but super useful if you're doing kind of stuff that's mathematical or easy to kind of auto grade. So it's a good way to give students quick feedback and let them test their code. So I hope this was a helpful explanation, and thanks for watching.